back for another episode of One Patriot. I am Burning Spirit Patriot, and I'm joined by the lovely Libby Lioux.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
And today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite First Lady, Michelle Obama, and how terrified she is of her children and going out and worrying about them being attacked by law enforcement or by some white supremacist. Now, I think the entire thing is ridiculous. 100% ridiculous. Because this is the most privileged family perhaps in the entire United States. And the fact that she has the audacity to go out and say that her daughters may be a target of white supremacy is the most bogus thing you can ever come up with. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Libby Lou?
I think it's a bunch of cockamamie, like you said. Coming out and saying that, you fear for your daughters. Comparatively, females aren't as... The numbers are more in their favor, I guess I could say.
Well, I just look at it at a sense of, when you want to talk about black females, they don't have to worry about a white supremacist coming out there to kill them or a cop to come out there and kill them. They have to worry about Tyrone or DeMarcus or Dante down the street more than they have to worry about some cop. They're going to have to worry about one of those people who are in their same, racial community.
And black women, not specifically the Obama.
Yeah, I'm just talking about black women in general. But she's coming from a perspective that she has to worry about her black daughters being targeted.
Yeah. Which
is a bunch of BS. And it infuriates me because, no, they don't have to worry about that. They are protected by Secret Service. They have tons of security with them. They're always going to be protected. There's always going to be an extra pair of eyes on them making sure that none of that stuff happens.
Right.
And when you want to talk about black women in general, police officers and white supremacists is not who they are going to have to worry about. They're going to have to worry about somebody that looks a lot like me. That's going to either rape them or murder them. So this whole idea that her daughters or black women in general, or just black people in general, are being targeted by law enforcement or are being targeted by white supremacists out there to kill them, it's ridiculous. I don't even know the word for it.
Honestly, I think it's insulting. When it coming specifically from Michelle Obama in such a place of privilege, to be, I want to join the party too.
Yeah.
Yes, you're black. You are so privileged. You are so entitled. It's insulting.
Yeah.
Because one, she's wrong, just about exactly how you outlined, the dangers that black women face in general. Statistically speaking, does not come from law enforcement. And then, just on top of it, you are not a part of regular everyday people. Don't try to chime in.
You're trying to compare it. This is ridiculous. This whole thing of her daughters being lumped in the same group. Let me put it like this. I have more in common with you than I do with Michelle Obama or her daughters. That's
Yeah.
Those are facts. I have more in common with your white next door neighbor than I do with the Obamas. So this is ridiculous. This whole thing is just a big grift, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. They got to keep the grift going. They got to keep the money railing in. I understand that they have a deal with Netflix. I understand that they have deals with, getting books, the book deals and all of that crap. So, of course, they're going to be coming out with documentaries that are racially charged. They're going to be coming out with movies that are racially charged, books that are racially charged. And they're going to make money off of it.
Of course.
Because you got a ton of people in this country that actually buy that BS.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I know I understand the hustle. I know they're trying to, stay in that tax bracket and keep the money raking in. But when you look at it from a factual statistic standpoint, what they're saying doesn't correlate. So I'm that is the only angle I can think of why they're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Michelle Obama has long been the beloved first lady of the left. I'm sure she wants to maintain.
Well, she's
that
only
status.
beloved. She's only beloved by half the country. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, but
unfortunately, half of the country does include the media, which is going to kind of put her on a pedestal or kind of elevate or what's the word I'm looking for? Something that is like expand or like not expand, but like
she's elevated.
She's elevated. I guess elevated.
Exactly like Oprah Winfrey is.
Right.
Like they're on the same like.
They're on the same. That's the same
idol,
vibe.
really,
yeah. Like. Middle-aged black woman that is successful. Everybody loves that story. Well, a lot of half of the country loves that story, at least. White suburban women, oh my God, that is a wet dream for them, or that is like they love that story. Now, then you got the other half that are pretty much silenced, and if they say anything bad about Michelle Obama or the Obamas, you're going to be viewed as a racist. So that half of the country, nobody wants to be viewed as a racist. So that half of the country is going to be silenced, shut down, or they're just, they're not going to say anything. They're just going to let it ride. But that's why it seems like Michelle Obama is looked at as somebody who is beloved, because you will have a few people who are going to speak out against her. But like I said, they're going to be either canceled or shut down or called a racist. Okay. So it is what it is. You can't voice any kind of criticism towards the Obamas.
Isn't that privilege?
That is privilege. It's black privilege.
Be like, no one can say anything about any of your ideas, any of your thoughts. Yeah. They're canceled.
Yeah.
And
it's really mind-boggling, and it's really like, and I touched on it a little bit earlier when I was talking to you before the show. Like, I feel like she should know better, but like I said, it's the grift. It's the product that she's selling. She has to sell fear. That's exactly what she's selling. She's selling fear to the black community. She's selling fear to minorities because it's going to be lucrative for her. Like I said, she has all of these deals that are, going on with these corporations and companies. So
she wants
of
to
course,
she wants to be relatable,
right? She wants to be relatable because if you look, and the reason why I say that they actually switched up their rhetoric. Look at a lot of the interviews in around 2007, 2008 with Barack Obama. Look at his speeches. Look at his interviews. A lot of those speeches were him holding the black community accountable. He was talking about absent fathers. He was talking about black on black crime. He was talking about education. He was talking about things, real issues, real actual issues. And it wasn't until, I think, about 2011. In 2011, his numbers with blacks, as far as approval rating, was it went from 95% when he got in to 58% at that point.
Tanked.
It tanked. Yeah. And you know what happened? Trayvon Martin happened. And that was a perfect opportunity for him to come in to gain that approval from the black community again. And he opined on that Trayvon Martin situation when he said, if I had a son, Trayvon Martin would look like me. Or if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin. When you're the president of the United States, you're not supposed to opine on any ongoing case, investigation or case or trial. But he did. But not because he cared, but because his approval with blacks were in the tank. And there was an election year coming up. And he needed the black community. So this whole thing is a sham. This entire thing is a sham. And Barack Obama, he is one of the biggest con artists there are when it comes to politicians. Because people want to talk about Trump as a con artist, but I mean, nobody ever wants to talk about Barack Obama. This guy is 100% con artist. So
yeah, I was conned by him.
So was I. I mean, I voted for him in 2008. Yeah. But the reason why was because if you look at his speeches, go back and look at his speeches, and look at Donald Trump's speeches circa 2016. Identical is when it comes to subject matter, when it comes to what they were talking about.
That'd be an interesting video to make, side by side.
Yes, there are actually videos on YouTube and on Twitter that I've seen that were Barack Obama was Make America Great Again. He was pretty much Make America Great Again. He just tried to say change. Yeah. But it was Make America Great Again is change.
Different packaging.
Yes, different packaging, but it is change because you're saying where it's at that point is not where we should be. And change is the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, but the specific things that they were talking about were the same. He was talking about border security. He was talking about bringing back jobs to America. He was talking about everything that makes the blue collar worker go, yeah, I believe in this guy.
Yeah.
It was the same, everything that they were talking about. It wasn't until, like I said, 2011, and he started to get into a lot of the identity politics that he changed. He was looked at as somebody who was, an Oreo. They called him an Oreo because he wasn't black enough. And it showed in the numbers that the black community did not appreciate him.
So you're saying he was first elected because he was black and people just were like...
He was first elected because he transcended his race. Blue collar workers. Rust Belt. He won the Rust Belt. right? He got the Rust Belt back into the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Clinton had them, right? And then
I'm talking about. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm talking about from the black community specifically.
Okay.
Like voted for him because you're absolutely right about the Rust Belt. We can
Oh,
get into
yeah.
that too. But I'm talking specifically about the black community just voting for him because he was black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Oh,
And
he was
then
black.
and then once his like
No. Correction. Let's get this straight. He was black, right? Mm-hmm. So that played a factor. But you don't always just get by the black community. You won't get elected if you're just black. If you're a black man, you have to have a black wife. That is essential. If he had a white wife, he would not have got elected. Let's get that straight. The black community, specifically black women, would not have voted for him in the numbers that he would not. They would not have voted for him had he had a white wife, because number one, Barack Obama, a lawyer, successful, relatively good looking, when it comes to politicians, educated, right, well spoken. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just a person who is ideal when you want a man, a family man. It's pretty much like a dream man, I guess you could say. I'm not saying that Barack Obama is a dream man, but he is somebody. He has a lot of qualities.
Crosses a lot of the
yes,
check boxes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Had he had a white wife, he would not have been elected. I can almost guarantee you that. Michelle Obama is an important piece of his success.
I hadn't thought
and there's
about that
no
before,
way in hell he parades around with a white woman and gets elected. That is impossible. That will not happen.
Yeah. I mean,
Michelle Obama is very important.
You're absolutely right.
They would not have voted for him if he wasn't black. If he was just they would have probably voted for him, but not in the numbers that they did. Yeah. They were not going to come out for no white man. 95% of black voters would not have voted for him had he been a white man. That is just facts.
The amount of hate that I've seen towards black men with white wives in general recently is astronomical, but maybe that's another podcast.
Well, lately that's that's been going on for a long time, but it is what it is.
But that's another story. But so to your point though, I think you're right. She definitely played a critical role.
She's very critical. Barack Obama is not Barack Obama without Michelle Obama, because he would not have the support of the black female. The black female constituent that he has right now would not be there had Michelle Obama not been his wife. And those are just the facts. I mean, I don't know. It's the harsh truth. Like, black women may come in and deny it, but it's true. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna say? Well, that is 100% the truth. It's not an opinion. Those are facts. So
identity politics strikes again.
Yeah.
In the first election, Obama election.
Identity politics in the first. This was the first election was an opportunity for it was the perfect opportunity. We had 8 years of Bush. Bush was just that bad. That's how bad Bush was. Because Hillary Clinton, if you remember, was actually the front runner.
I don't remember that.
Hillary Clinton was the front runner for the Democratic Party, and Barack Obama came out of nowhere. He had that speech at the DNC in 2000. Was it 2004 or 2006? I think it was 2004. A star was born. Bro, everybody was like, wow, who is this guy? Community organizer, come from Chicago. You know what I mean? His dad is from Africa. His mom is a white lady. His mother was like an anthropologist, and Barack Obama also has a sister who's from like Hawaii, and he comes from this multicultural family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he was just the perfect fit, you know.
In 2004?
In 2004, that's when I first heard about Barack Obama.
Okay.
When he had the speech at the DNC.
Old man dog in the corner over there.
Yeah. So that's when I first heard about Barack Obama. But he was the perfect package for the Democrats to, you know, come in, swoop in, and get what they...
And like you've mentioned before in a couple of our other podcasts, he was groomed.
Yeah, he was groomed.
Position.
I mean, look at Henry Kissinger. He was groomed. I mean, Henry Kissinger said, Barack Obama is the perfect face to put in front of what we want to get done. He is the perfect vessel that we can run through our agenda with, because he's got the support and the will of the people. The minorities are going to get behind him. The white working class is going to get behind him. The suburban white women are going to get behind him. So he checks all the boxes because the identity politics that go with it. And the large corporations, the Wall Street guys, the military or industrial complex people, they had a field day with Barack Obama, with somebody like a Barack Obama, because he is going to be their shield or their sheep's clothing underneath the wolf, which they are the wolf and Obama is the sheep's clothing. So, you know, Henry Kissinger, you know, admitted it. So, yeah, he was groomed from the time that he was young till the time he got into politics. When he got into politics, he got with all the right people. He was groomed on how to become the president. And it worked out for him, and, you know, credit to him. Credit to his family.
Yeah. It was effective.
Yeah.
Paid off. It's continuing to pay off.
Mm-hmm. And he's been pretty much the one that's been leading the party.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
He's been the one that's been leading the party the entire time.
Do you think Biden would have won without Obama's endorsement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't, I mean, Biden would have. I think Biden would have won because they would have done whatever they had to do to make Biden win.
Yeah.
I don't think Barack Obama is when it comes to him leading the party as far as like the agenda, yeah, he's the guy. But when it comes to him having clout with the people, no, I don't think he has as much clout as he used to. No. Honestly, the Democrats did terrible this last election.
That's accurate.
If we're really being honest, the Democrats did terrible. And how many times did Barack Obama go out and campaign and do all this stuff, endorsing all of these people for the Democrat Party? And that's a continuing trend since 2018. They may have gotten the House in 2018, but when it comes to these local politics and these state elections, mm-hmm. and when it comes to the House and even the Senate where they were supposed to pick up and get the majority, they couldn't do it. When it comes to, the Republicans did a pretty decent job holding them off. When it comes to the House, they lost a ton of seats. They only have a 5 or 6 seat lead, and that thing is going to be obliterated come 22.
Yep.
So Barack Obama has no clout when it comes to, being the kingmaker is what I'm alluding to. Him being a kingmaker doesn't have as much of a potent punch as it used to be.
Aside from, like, internally within the establishment.
Well, yeah, I mean, like when it comes to like the bureaucracy, when it comes to his guys, the people in the intelligence community, people in the FBI, people, some of these ambassadors that are Obama's leftovers. A lot of these Obama leftovers are super loyal to him. Loyal to the point that they are, they will go after his enemies with.
But why?
Why?
Yeah, why? Like,
Because,
what do they have to gain? Like, I mean, is it actually loyalty? Are they gaining something? Because
no, I think they're gaining something. Their jobs. They're going to have jobs when they come. When the next administration, that is somebody who is an ally to the Obama administration, or somebody who is an ally to the Obamas, they're going to have, because Obama does have pull. If Obama recommends you, you're going to have a job in Washington. If Obama recommends you, you may have a job even outside of Washington. Like, I mean, he's getting into Hollywood, and then he's getting into these the Netflix thing, and you can get a book deal and all kinds of things. They have a lot of clout when it comes to that. So yeah, if you show loyalty to him, of course, that's the smart thing to do. You have even Judge Sullivan, who was 100%. He should be disbarred. Judge Sullivan for the Michael Flynn case.
Oh, right.
That was, man, I don't even want to get into that because that's a whole nother episode.
I do want to do that episode with you. We should do that episode soon.
Yeah.
Because you're very knowledgeable about it.
Yeah. I mean, I can,
I don't want people to forget about it. It's
really I mean, we got John Durham that still has his case going, or his investigation going, and I'm wondering what's going on with that. That hasn't been in the news. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, he's holding off until something, big happens. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with John Durham. I don't put a lot of faith in John Durham. I don't put a lot of faith in. I never put a lot of faith in Bill Barr. So, we'll see. We'll see if these people are held accountable. I don't know.
Probably not.
I highly doubt it.
If we're being realistic.
Yeah.
We can be optimistic, but.
Yeah.
But back to Michelle Obama specifically, I didn't watch the clip. I know there's a whole interview with her, but she did specifically call out and say that BLM is doing what they're doing and going to the streets because it's what they have to do.
It's what they have to do.
That's what they have to do.
Do they have to burn down and loot and kill and
yeah? So I'm really curious, and I want to get your thoughts on that. Like,
well,
what exactly does that mean? Like, why do they have to do it? Because if you look at police killings, you look at the actual data. No, they don't.
They don't have to do it.
They don't have to do it.
They don't have to do it. See what, and they can, that's their right to organize and, but it isn't their right. Mm. They can peacefully protest, but it isn't their right to instigate and condone and actually loot, burn, and murder people.
Right.
That isn't their right. And Michelle Obama is saying that they have to do it. Really, I think that's really funny because last time I checked, Black Lives Matter formed under her husband's administration while he was in power, under his rule. So,
excellent point.
yes, did they have to form then?
Yeah.
Because your country was so messed up under your rule? Trayvon Martin happened under Obama's watch. If we're going to say this is Trump's America, that was Obama's America.
It's Obama's America.
Yeah.
Right?
Black people were getting, if you want to say black people were getting killed by the police, those incidents happened during Barack Obama's watch.
Police killings have declined significantly since Barack Obama's been out of office. So, yeah, you're exactly right. Like,
yeah.
So, Michelle, are you saying that your husband's actions caused this, and that's why BLM has to take this street because of the era that you ushered in of division? And
there's been studies on like how. See, this is how powerful the media is. They've done studies on when Barack Obama was in office and when Trump was in office. The country was way more divided when Barack Obama was in office. Much more divided than it is now. The only reason you're seeing, or you did see why it was divided back then when Trump was in office, because that was media propaganda.
Right.
Media propaganda propping up this notion that the country is racially, there's a bunch of racially charged division. When nothing could be further than to the truth. You know what I mean? That is 100% lie. Most Americans get along with each other. Most Americans are not racist.
No.
It is something that the media drove through because they wanted clicks. They need the country to be divided because they don't make any money. They can't grift on it. And then you got these other people like Michelle and Barack Obama, people like Al Sharpton, people like BLM. These type of people need the country to be divided.
Absolutely.
They need it to be divided. There's no way they cannot survive or they cannot make money if the country is
they don't have any political sway if there's no division.
Yeah.
Like if everybody's united, it's like there's
where do I go
pit
from
each
here?
other against.
There's nothing they can fall back on because a lot of them have no talent.
And I'm sorry, like you want to talk about division and you want to talk about systemic racism. How are you going to stand there and look me dead in the eye, Michelle Obama, and say there's systemic racism given your history, the fact that your husband was the first black president of the United States. You went to school. I applaud her for her academics. Like, she's very smart.
She should be, which is even worse. That's worse because she should know better.
Yep.
But I think she does. That's the point. I really think she does know better. She's just doing it to grift.
Exactly. That's she very clearly knows that there is a path. There is a path, and it's hard work and it's grit. And it does suck a lot of the time. Yeah. But it's what you do. Yeah. It's what you do. And it has to be done. And that's what needs to be presented to black communities rather than you're a victim. Like, I know. Because that's what's pushed in white communities. Like, no, you're going to study, you're going to go to school, you're going to get forward. Like,
saying that her daughters has a target on their back is 100% irresponsible because, number one, you're saying that the most privileged person that happens to be black in America has to worry about getting killed by a white supremacist or cops, what signal does that send to the normal black person? Well, the normal black person is going to be freaked out and paranoid.
Right.
So they're always going to be having a chip on their shoulder, or like looking over their back or looking over their shoulder, like paranoid. They're always going to be living in fear and they're always going to have a victim mentality or remain in a victim's status. These people do it on purpose. They want to keep black people where they're at. They don't want to show any kind of path to get successful or to become successful. They want to keep saying, hey, you're a victim. Hey, they are out here to keep you down. You keep beating that into somebody's head, they're going to start believing it.
Absolutely.
And she, that was super irresponsible of her.
Incredibly irresponsible of her.
It just infuriates me because she should be saying the truth. And the truth is she has more, she should have more to worry about as far as statistically speaking. A black woman has more to worry about from somebody that looks like me than a white cop.
Yep.
That is asinine for her to say that.
Asinine. Do you know the other thing that just popped up in my head too? Is, okay, so even if, because everybody's like, oh, you can't talk about black on black crime, right? Like, which is its whole nonsense in itself, because we should be able to talk about it. It's America. It's a real thing.
We can't talk. Who says we can't talk about black on black crime?
Everybody. There was, recently I've seen a lot of leftists and Democrats saying like, oh, Republicans say, oh, we don't see color. Anyway, they're like attacking Republicans and conservatives for talking about black on black crime, which is,
well, that's just a rebuttal to you talking about white supremacy all the time. That's the only reason why Republicans talk about black on black crime is because Republicans are seeing the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Why are you so upset about something that rarely happens? You are more likely to get struck by lightning than to be killed by the police. You're harping and you're piling and you're putting all your eggs in one basket and you're focusing on this one minute small issue when you got a big old issue that is not being addressed.
Right.
You're not talking about black on black crime. You're not talking about education. You're not talking about strengthening the nuclear family. You're not talking about anything that is a substantial issue in the black community, economic empowerment. You're focused on something that is not so even a minutia. Yes, like, it's not even
doesn't make sense.
Like Candace Owens said, it's not even. I wouldn't even put it in a top 1,000. I wouldn't even. I think she said something. I wouldn't even put it in a top 1,000 issue in the black community. I totally agree with that. I wouldn't even put it in top 1,000. It's not even. I'm not afraid of no goddamn white cop. Okay. Trust me. And a lot of these black people out here aren't afraid of them either. You want to know why? Look at how they act when it comes to white police. When it comes to these white police, they're resisting arrest. They're fighting with these police officers. They're taking their weapons. They're drawing knives on them. They're brandishing weapons in front of white police officers. They're threatening other people's lives. Like, they're not afraid. Children. Yes, they're not afraid of white cops. Like, they're not even afraid of white cops. So this whole freaking idea that blacks are afraid of being hunted down by white police, that is ridiculous, and it doesn't reflect reality. No,
it's so wildly blown out of proportion that it's honestly, I genuinely feel just like remorse a lot of time. BLM is the biggest, I don't know if I should say the biggest, but like one of the biggest, as far as like specific organizations go, right, to advocate for the black community, and they're choosing this avenue.
No, they are the biggest.
Yeah.
They are the biggest. They are the number one
my
organization.
Civil rights movement.
Yes.
Like that was different. But as far as like a
civil rights movements,
no,
the civil rights movement is a thing of the past for them because number one, they are not fighting for civil rights at all. They are not fighting for any kind of civil rights. They're fighting to change America. Like, look at their 7 demands. Look at their 7 demands.
Okay, we'll get into that actually.
Yeah.
But before we get there, I want to go back a little bit because I was going to make a point. Okay, so outside of black on black crime, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not allowed to touch that. Let's just say we're not going to touch that. But of course we are because
we do what the hell we want.
We do what the hell we want because we live in America.
Yeah. Well, I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about.
That's right.
I can talk about black on black crime and nobody, BLM or no other black person is going to do a damn thing about it.
That's right.
So, like, I'm going to talk about the issue that affects the black community. You can talk about white police officers all you want, but I'm going to talk about the things that actually affect black people.
Yes.
So, I mean,
as we should. But, so my point being, all right, let's just say in theory, okay, so we're not going to talk about black on black crime, black community issues. Like, okay, we won't talk about that. But you want to talk about white supremacy, which is like such a small thing in reality.
Exist. It doesn't. It's not even a.
You know what does exist right now? Can we talk about black on Asian crime?
Yeah. Well, that's why they're trying to. That's why they've been downplaying a lot of these black on Asian crime incidents because, and they just try to frame it as Asian hate or Asian hate crime, right?
Yeah. Stop Asian hate.
They can't tie it to white supremacy anymore.
No,
because they tried to do it in the beginning.
They're still trying to do it. Mm-hmm. They're still trying to do it by omitting certain facts in the headline.
Yeah,
right. Like they're alluding to even. I think someone recently even said it was a white person that was attacking Asian. I can't remember the reporter's name, but it's like they're trying to allude to it and like gloss over the fact. I can't remember the exact statistic, but it's a significant amount. I want to say it's like 80 to 90% of. I'll have to look that up, so don't quote me on it. But I think it's about 80+% of Asian hate crimes are happening at the hands of black people, and the media is just glossing over it and not mentioning it, and not bringing up, still trying to peg it to Trump.
If you want
and Trump's administration, Trump started this. Trump started the Asian hate, and it's like that doesn't align.
Yeah, it doesn't. It has. It's look. If you want to go into numbers, here's a better number for you. So, you ever hear some guy who is like on the left, or some girl who is on the left, girl, guy, or whoever, they always want to talk to you and say, hey, well, if you look at the hate crime statistics, white people make up 58% of, or 50, I think it was like 58 or 56% of the hate crimes that happen in this country. And what they won't tell you is 24% of the hate crimes that happen in this country happen with blacks. And with blacks being the suspect or the perpetrator. So what is happening here is if we look at the demographics of this, or the population, and we look at the population by race, white people make up, 60% of the population? Something like that.
Yeah.
That is consistent with the hate crime that happens when you do it by race. Why is the black community at 24% when they only make 12% of the population? That's double their freaking population. That's double. So nobody wants to talk about it. They do it 2 times more than any other race. When comparatively speaking, when you look at the black community, if they're only making 12 to 13% of the population, yet they're committing double of the hate crimes. They're making up double of the hate crimes of their own population. Like, how come nobody's talking about that?
That's a great question.
Yeah, and when you say that these hate crimes that are against Asians, 80% of them are what, black people? Mm-hmm. That correlates. Like that makes sense to me.
Yeah, agreed. And it's not only does it make sense, it just on pre-COVID numbers. Mm-hmm. That was phrased awkwardly, but I think I also want to know. I was thinking about it a lot. Like, why is it increasing? Like, mm-hmm. specifically, because they're trying to peg it back to Trump, right? And mm-hmm. like Trump's administration, but I don't think that's the case at all whatsoever. I think that we're in the state of our country right now, especially as we're like, one, people are emboldened to commit crimes. Their outrage, violent crimes are skyrocketing. And who commits the majority of violent crimes? It's black people. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes sense that it. I kind of lost my train of thought, mm-hmm. but it makes sense. I don't think it ties into Trump or COVID specifically. Mm-hmm. I think that those hate crimes are already happening, but because there's this police brutality mm-hmm. Narrative happening right now, and people are emboldened, and it kind of ties into COVID, like crime rates are increasing. It's just like this escalation. Everything's like culminating, so we're seeing more of it.
Add to the fact that a lot of these people that are committing these crimes are getting out on no bail.
Yep. Oh my God, the stabbing.
Yeah.
Did you see that stabbing of the 85-year-old woman?
Yeah.
The video that was just released?
Mm-hmm.
He had been released previously
mm-hmm.
on he was charged with some mental health stuff, and they're like, oh no, release him because of his mental health. And he was released, and this 85-year-old woman was stabbed and had a gigantic blade break off into her because they're like, oh no, mental health, we can't arrest and we can't hold people accountable for their crimes.
Yeah. These people are insane. And I'm not talking about the person who stabbed the woman. I'm talking about the mm-hmm. people who are in these positions, like these DAs, these Soros bought and paid for DAs, these mayors, these far left mayors that are letting these criminals back out on the street to attack innocent people.
Yep.
And that, I feel like that correlates. A lot of these people who are attacking these Asian people have like you said, they have mental illness. They just have issues, you know, and that is not me excusing them at all. They need to pay their debt to society.
Yeah.
They need to be held accountable. They need to be brought to justice, and they need to be kept inside of a cell.
Yeah. They
don't need to be out on the streets.
Nobody wants to talk about it, but we have a severe mental health crisis in this country.
Yeah, we do.
Again, that's another podcast.
And we need to separate them from the ones that cannot be acclimated and, ingrained or, put back into society.
Yeah.
They need to be separated from society.
They have to be. And I will be the first to admit, like, and this is a very, personal issue too, is like, as someone it's very important to me, mm-hmm. is unfortunately like not mentally well and is in prison. And so I've seen it firsthand, like, mm-hmm. the prison system is not the answer to the mental health crisis, right? Like, mm-hmm. we have to figure out an alternative to this system because it's not working.
Well, they don't want to. They don't want any. I don't know if they have any mental health facilities here on a grand scale or on a big, like, scale here.
There's no funding for it. There's not. To get mental health and the support in this country is you have to have someone literally fighting for you like every day to get you. Like, it's not someone who's not mentally healthy isn't able to find these resources for themselves, right? Like, you have to have someone advocating for you, calling day after day to get you into these programs. Someone who's not mentally capable, they're not in the right mindset, they're not going to do that. There's no way they're going to do that. So we have to address this issue and make mental health more accessible.
It's kind of reminds me of the Joker movie.
I still haven't seen it.
I still haven't seen it with Joaquin Phoenix, where society has pretty much, given up on the, people who are less fortunate, and within that group, you have people who have a lot of mental health issues. And there were programs that were set up to help out with that. And through that program, he was able to get his prescription meds. I'm talking about the Joker. Mm-hmm. The city cut funds to that program, and he couldn't get his meds. A lot of things happened in his life, and he just went crazy. So, it is something that I feel like we collectively, I'm not saying that the government has to fix everything, but I feel like they could, maybe, all that money that they use to spend for their little art galleries, all that money that they use, money and resources that they use to spend for, I just read something today, I think it was like LA parties, LA block parties or something like that. LA, something along the lines, like there was like a bunch of things that the Democrats were trying to push through. Just a bunch of pork, right? Excuse me. They could use some of that money to help fight mental illness or mental illness awareness.
Absolutely. Even in these COVID relief bills, right? Like, I don't know, maybe there was some small amount in it, but like very clearly we already had, you want to talk about like mass shootings and all, which is another can of worms. We keep saying that in this episode. Mm-hmm. There's so many ways to dive off, but even before COVID, we had mental health crisis in this country. Mm-hmm. And especially since then, mental health, there's so many people with like anxiety, depression, suicide rates are escalating rapidly. Yeah. And like, where was that in the relief bill? Why did we have so much pork and crap? Why weren't we focusing on the American people? Yeah. Their mental health. Like,
whenever these politicians, a lot of times, specifically the Democrats and sometimes the Republicans, they don't look at these relief bills or these spending bills as a opportunity to help the people. They look at it as an opportunity to help out themselves and their friends. Yep. So the friends, specifically the ones who are going to be endorsing them and putting money into their campaigns, their political campaigns. So those are the ones who are going to be helped first. Do you think the average everyday Joe is going to be the priority for these people? Absolutely not. Mm-mm. So I mean, when you look at it, it makes sense why they do all the pork and all the BS.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, it's unfortunately gotten to the point where it's like, well, you know what? We should still continue to fight it, but it's just like, this is big government, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know that that's happening. So I think what needs to happen is on a community level.
Yeah.
People need to start looking out for each other more. Like, hey, we know this person has mental health issues. Like, I'm going to reach out, like, set up a system, like,
or even, you know, I mean, even like we can still keep it government, but make it like not a policy, but make it the agenda for local government. Big government is, we don't like, probably maybe 5% of what big government does affects us.
Yeah.
You know, they don't on a grand scale, they don't really affect us daily. I mean, it's what the mayor is doing. It's what the governor is doing that affects us.
That's absolutely true.
So
and I think that's really how it should be.
Right. That is how it should be.
I just want the big spending to end too.
Because
a lot of my checks still goes to federal tax dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And all of that is being, and the reason why you can tell that they don't need all that money because all that money is going to BS.
No, it's wasted.
Yeah,
it
wasted.
It is wasted.
That's how you can know. That's why I said, give me my goddamn tax. Don't take my money for any, you know, tax spending. You know, give me my money.
Give me my money.
If you're gonna use it for that BS, give me my money.
Exactly. Let me donate to what I think is justified spending. Like, I'll give my money willingly to the military. Yeah. I know there's a lot of spending that could be cut there too.
Well, I don't necessarily know about giving my money to the military.
Well, we need.
I know
we do need. Armed forces.
I do want a strong military, but I also want to have strong local. I want to have the local agenda be funded. I want, like, I will probably, like, honestly, I would probably put some for the military if I'm going to do my own, like, I'm going to funnel my taxes to where we want it. I feel like it should be like this. Okay, so Americans all get taxed a certain amount of money, right? Mm-hmm. How about we let Americans decide, like, individually, decide where we want to put our tax dollars to.
Exactly.
Like, let's not have somebody in big government. And I know that's what voting is for, but like when it comes to taxes, I feel like we should be able to decide where we want our tax dollars to go to. Absolutely. If I don't want to put my specific tax dollars to Planned Parenthood, or if I don't want to put my specific tax dollars to I don't know, some stupid
infrastructure plan.
Infrastructure plan that doesn't have anything to do with infrastructure.
No.
That doesn't have anything to do with fixing the roads or fixing the highways or building.
Oh yeah, no.
Or building the buildings. I'm not going to put my money to that unless I know it's specifically going to that. I'm not going to let you put up a little, hey, here's a bill. It's an infrastructure bill, and you're
forced to give your money to what it was like Yemen gender studies or something, right? Some crap like that.
Exactly.
Like, no,
if somebody
that you're stealing my money, I don't want it to go to that.
Yes, that's why I say we should be able to channel our tax dollars wherever the hell we want to channel it to. I'm going to give money to the military. I'm going to give money to local law enforcement, whatever you want to do. I'm going to give money to the local rec center so that children have a place to play. Yep. I'm going to give my money to healthcare. Like I want to be able to say, okay, I'm going to give this much to here. I'm going to give this much to here. I don't want my money to be spent by a person who comes up with this bill and then The representatives vote on it, which, yes, that is their job. But at the end of the day, in that bill, it's like why not have a clean bill? You know what I mean? If you're going to do the bill, let it be a clean bill. Don't let it be all this pork and all this garbage in there. So that's why I say we should have targeted tax spending.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And I genuinely think there would be less waste, less tax dollars wasted.
Yeah.
More focused efforts and better communities, honestly.
Yeah.
Because people are going to pay attention. They're going to be more involved, not just like this like blanket, oh, here's 20% of my check.
Yeah.
I guess
and this is
I paid for some stuff for things. It's like, no, you have to be conscious. Like, you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
What am I paying this to? Like,
yeah. What but the dissenting rebuttal to all of this is like, well, that's just going to give the rich people all the more say so than a person that doesn't have any money or doesn't make that much money. They're going to be able to channel their money into whatever they want to channel it to, as far as like tax dollars. So, and I'm saying, what I say to that is, okay, that's their prerogative.
Yeah.
I say they made that money. They should be able to spend it however the hell they want to spend it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Get involved in your community.
Get involved in your community. Yeah, exactly.
And convince them where they should be more invested in your community. Spread the word. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, at its core, the community would be better off. And the country would be better off if we had that option. So right now, I just feel like, oh, I just got robbed for a lot of money. Where is it going?
Where is it going?
I have no initiative. My neighbors have no initiative to get involved and informed and know where every single penny is going.
Yeah.
That would change it.
Yeah. I would definitely want to have my money, or be able to channel my money into a certain organization or a certain, company, or whoever does, whether it's like whatever infrastructure or spending, money on making roads or whatever. Like, I want to be able to channel my money where I want to be able to channel it to, if I'm going to have to pay taxes.
Yep.
Because yes, I do believe that we should pay taxes at a certain, scale, but I don't want these crooked politicians to channel my money back into their friends' pockets.
Exactly.
Their best friends' pockets, and then they're going to use that money to channel or to funnel into their political campaigns, and they're just going to get that money right back.
Right.
Because they can spend that. All they got to do is clean that money.
Yep.
And they're going to be able to spend that campaign money.
Yep.
So. And
tying it back to Black communities specifically, like, if you just looping back to Michelle Obama, Black communities, like, can you imagine the empowerment that Black communities would have if they could designate their tax dollars within the community?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the change that would happen there? Their schools,
lot of change.
Their education.
Yeah, absolutely. They would be able to do so much. They would be able to do, instead of entrusting these crooked politicians
who are stealing they're taking their tax dollars outside of their community, right? Like,
and then
to keep second to that, like, they channel their tax dollars out of the community, give them promises, don't follow through on the promises because they want them to stay impoverished.
Well, what's funny is that a lot of these schools are getting money. But the thing is that they're not, even though these schools are getting money, they're still performing at a very, very low rate. Even though they're getting this money.
Sorry,
went down the
wrong pipe.
Wrong pipe.
Yes.
Well, even though they're getting all of this money, the children are still not performing at a adequate, tolerable level when it comes to reading comprehension and math.
And
They're still falling below. They're still not meeting the standards. All this money being thrown at schools. But why is that? You know, why is that?
Home.
I think it's cultural.
Community.
Yeah, and I think it's the teachers too. I don't think that the school, the teachers are doing a good job. No, I don't think that the funds are being allocated to the proper proper places, right? Yeah.
You have the higher administration, like these superintendents, attendants, they're making over $100,000 at least.
Yeah.
These several, it's not just the superintendents, but like beyond the teacher status, right?
Yeah.
The administration that's making six figures. Why?
I have no clue why. Who was that woman that the other day we saw? Even though she wasn't in the black community, we were seeing that she was pushing this far left critical race theory BS.
Yeah. She was telling teachers to lie to parents about the curriculum that was being taught.
They said, she was saying to put out a generic curriculum to parents.
Oh, we're teaching math and English, and
then having the real curriculum keep to themselves.
Right.
And then
we're going
use
old
that
curriculum.
Yeah, we're going old school. We're going to keep the old curriculum, we're going to put out a generic curriculum for the parents, and then we're going to have our own curriculum, the real curriculum that we're going to use to teach the students. And that curriculum was critical race theory BS. And this woman, I'm still mad about this. I want to know what the hell happened. I want to know that this woman is going to be punished.
I looked recently. There was nothing. That's the other infuriating thing. There was one article, one effing article, when you looked in Google search.
Yeah, because what did they say?
And you had to dig for it and put very specific terms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's enraging to me.
Yeah.
If my kids were in that school district,
I would sue.
They would be so.
I would sue the school. I would sue the school board. I would sue the entire district, and I would want answers, and I would want that teacher fired. Gone.
Because they weren't even a teacher. They were like an administrator.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember her title.
She's gone. She's done. She should never be able to do forever. Yeah.
Never be allowed to work with
her career is over when it comes to like that, to the school district. Her career is over for any school district.
And any.
If it were up to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you know what, you hear all these school people, like, this is another side rant, like, oh, we need more parents involved in their kids' academics, and it's like,
oh yeah, the parents are the allies.
Well, then stop lying.
Yeah.
Stop lying to the parents, like.
Yeah. And if the parents were the allies, like the school district spokesperson said, this woman would be fired.
Right?
Like,
not even a question.
Yes. Yes, give her due process. Make sure that there's an investigation. But at the end of the day, if what happens, if what allegedly happened really happened, she needs to be gone.
Yep.
She needs to be gone. Like, no excuses. That is grounds for being fired,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
These parents should not let it go.
Yeah, and it was sad as they probably are. I mean, they need to band together and demand action.
Yep.
Man, that is infuriating. Yep. And I don't have kids, but like I'm like, yo, that's just infuriating.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
And just thinking about it gets me heated. Mm-hmm. So hopefully there's some parents that feel similar to how we do and stick with it.
I'm pretty sure any sane parent would be upset about that.
But that's the thing. There are not a lot of sane, stable parents. I shouldn't say that. There are so many parents that are more concerned about political correctness and what their appearance might be and how the community might view them than what is best for their child. It's sad, but it's true.
Political correctness. I mean, if we're going to just, are we talking about this specific topic? Or are we talking about in general?
Generally speaking.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if in this specific topic, excuse me, I don't give a damn political correctness or not. You lied to the parents. You put out, regardless of what it's about, political correctness or not, you put out a fake curriculum and you wanted to keep a fake or the real curriculum to yourself away from the parents, regardless of what the real curriculum is about. Yep. I don't care if the curriculum is about 100% American patriotic stuff that you want to teach the children.
There should be full transparency.
Full transparency. You put out a fake one, right?
Yep.
I don't care if this is the real, like the curriculum is what you should be teaching, like, math, English, like.
I don't care if I agree with it or not.
Right. Yeah, I don't care if I agree with it or not.
Don't lie to me.
Don't lie, yeah. That's should be 100% the what these people in these positions should be doing.
Yeah. And this administrator aside, every single teacher that received that email should have immediately flagged it.
Yeah.
Immediately. Maybe there were a few. I don't know. I don't know the particulars. But any teacher that didn't flag it should also be questioned.
Yeah.
Like, you were just going to go along with this?
Yeah, you're just going to go along with this?
You thought this was okay?
It's kind of like that whole thing with the Chauvin thing. Now they're charging the 4 officers, or the other 3 officers, like...
They face life in prison or the death penalty.
Oh, man. Lord have mercy.
Can you believe that?
But they do this on purpose so they can get a plea deal. They throw all this stuff on purpose so they can force them into getting a plea deal. They know that they're going to... The government always does this. What they do is they put like astronomical charges on you, right? And I thought that's what was going to happen with this Chauvin case thing. Because I don't honestly believe that the prosecutors thought that they were going to get every single charge.
No. I mean...
But when you got people on the jury, like the freaking moron idiot, I don't know what his name.
I don't know his
name. He looks like a damn... He looks like a frog. The guy who was the BLM supporter or the BLM activist.
Yep.
There's no way that this guy Chauvin was going to get off on any of those charges.
No. There's no way.
So it's
and that's worrying for now these federal charges, right? Like for all 4 officers, it's like now that has happened with Chauvin, that he did get charged with all 3 of those. It's like they could potentially face the death penalty for civil rights. I can't remember the specifics of the titles of the charges, but like I'm like, normally I'd agree with you, right? Like, They're just throwing out highly escalated charges so that they can plea deal and, balance out. Now I'm like, this could happen even if it's life in prison. That's not that's not justified. Again, go through court and see what happens, but like it's a scary thought that is where we could be headed, because it wouldn't be justice at that point.
Yeah.
It's, to me, when I see those charges and where it could lead, I see basically like a sacrifice to I think I've said this to you before, but like a sacrifice to domestic terrorists, right? Like, please don't burn down America.
Yeah.
See how
that's what it is.
Just we are. See, we are woke.
Yeah.
Don't burn down America. And
see,
it's
the
not
justice
going to
system
work.
works. See, like, even though you went against the justice system, even though you had an unfair trial, even though you just had, you just did that because you wanted to appease terrorists that were going to burn down the country.
And that's exactly it. But the thing is, it's not going to work. It's never going to be enough.
It's never going to be enough. They're going to
keep pushing for more.
Because they're going to see this and say, yo, this worked. Like, we burned down this country.
What else can we get away with?
What else can we worked. Demand? And it's going to happen. And it's going to happen throughout the summer.
Yep. Yeah.
It's going to happen throughout the summer. Yeah.
Like BLM's demands. Going back to that.
Yeah. BLM has come out with 7 demands. And of the 7 demands, I think what was it, like 2 or 3 of them were about Trump.
Yes. Seriously, that's gonna be
Black
your
Lives
demands?
Matter. Why don't you just change your freaking name to TLM, Trump Lives Matter? Because you're so worried about freaking Donald Trump. Like, what the hell does Donald Trump, who is not even in office, have to do? Because they Black Lives Matter,
that he has a big potential for coming back in
2024. I see what you're saying, but at the same time, like, if your Black Lives Matter, shouldn't your focus be on the black community?
Right.
What does Trump have to do with that? And Trump is out of office.
Yep.
Like, I know you say that, oh, you're afraid, but yeah, you're afraid. Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid of Trump? Is it because you have ties to the Democrat Party and you want to do the Democrat Party's bidding?
But even that doesn't make sense. I think that is accurate, but it doesn't make sense because literally, I despise BLM just in general. And I hate that this makes me laugh, but it's like, so you just sided with the Democratic Party, right? What did they do? As soon as Biden got in office, you didn't hear a peep from that administration. We're all worked up about it, but now they're like trying to stay in the good graces of the Democratic Party. They just called out Biden for, I can't remember specifically, but like, yes, we're facing more threats in the street from the Biden administration than we did that from the Trump administration. And yet, what were your demands? Your demands were about Trump.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And why are you, like, once again, why are you worried about Trump?
Exactly.
I didn't see anything in there about demands for education.
Nope.
I didn't see anything in their demands for black on black crime. You got
protecting black babies.
Yes, I didn't see you advocating for harsher crimes for these criminals that are killing black children. You know what I mean? I didn't see you advocating for anything that had to do with building up the family.
No, of course not. They hate the nuclear family.
Yeah. I didn't see anything in those demands that tackle those very important issues. All I saw was Trump, 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 white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. That's all I saw in those list of demands. What the hell are you good for?
Nothing.
You're not good for anything. You're good for nothing.
Fundraising for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's what you're good for.
That's exactly it.
And you line your pockets with the leftovers.
Yep. Oh. Mansions must be nice.
Yeah.
But you know what? With all their Trump demands, you know what deal would have helped the black community greatly with the issues that they failed to address in these demands? The platinum deal.
Oh.
With Trump, right? Like the platinum plan. But shoot.
Yeah, the platinum. I mean, there was a platinum plan that Trump came out with that was, he extended the olive branch and he was like, hey, I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to work with you.
Yep.
I mean, Trump's supposed to be this big white supremacist, but every time you ask him to come to the table, he's there at the table. He's waiting. He's, he's ready to hear you out. But
just like the stimulus checks.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want to give everyone $2,000. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like I don't get it. I don't get this narrative that Trump is this white supremacist or Trump is this racist. I've never seen any proof. It's garbage. But BLM wants to. Huh?
I was gonna say you called me out on that a long time ago, and I just thank you for it. Because I did fall into that. I was like, Trump's just racist.
Yeah.
And where's the proof?
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see hard, concrete proof. What did he say?
All my proof is trash.
And then everybody always tries to. He said the whole thing about the good people on all sides, and he was talking about white supremacy, even though he said that's a lie. It's 100% a lie.
Please, for the love of God, just watch the whole. I'm guilty of it. I fell for it many times.
Yeah.
I think we do is just as people in general, like we're so consumed with our day-to-day lives, we just catch headlines and like to riff off of them. But like with something like that's repeatedly and continually like harped on, just take an extra 5 minutes and watch the whole video.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, BLM is in no position to make any kind of demands.
No.
Because we're talking about these people might as well change their name to Black Lives Matter to freaking buying large mansions. That should be their freaking new name. Buying large mansions. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. I mean, the girl, what did she spend, like almost $30,000 on a resort retreat
in Mexico? Yeah. That must be nice.
Must be nice, man. Activism is a lucrative career.
Yes, it is.
I mean, shoot.
I know.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you wanted to add? Any closing remarks?
Yes.
Okay.
Please like this video. Subscribe to our channel.
Yes, we are definitely trying to grow this channel. We don't get very many views, but we do it because we love it, and we do it because we want to inform the people of what the truth is, and we want to make sure we get that out there. So, like and subscribe, and you will make us very happy. We will appreciate that.
Yes. Every like, every view gets like very excited. Hey, we got a subscriber.
Also share.
Please.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
That's how they do it, right?
Yes. Smash a like button.
Yes.
Share, subscribe. Yes, and I do want to start building more content about exactly what One Patriot stands for and what we're building, and so sharing our overall thoughts on things is incredibly helpful for building that.
We want to do that, but we want to build a channel on the juicy stuff. We like to talk about the juicy stuff, We want to talk about the tea. We want to talk about things that will draw you in, definitely. And we want to expose our mission while we're doing it as well. So we want to have the entertainment. We want to have the element of what we do, so you guys can, hopefully get involved and you can join us in this movement. So, yeah.
I forgot one. Comment too.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear us talk about?
Yeah. What do you want to hear us talk about? What do you want to hear us, raise more content on? Just let us know what we're doing wrong. We'd like to know all of that. Definitely open to criticism. This is more like a stream of consciousness, because we wing a lot of this. We don't a lot of times we don't write any notes. We're just sitting here and just going back and forth. So it's not, this is definitely a channel at its infant stage, and we're still kicking out the bugs, and we're trying to make this thing better and get it more structured. So, yeah.
Yes, for the podcast.
Yes.
We have some more fun content, I think, too. But anyway, we could ramble on that for a long time. But, yeah, just thank you again for joining us as One Patriot. I am Libby Lou Patriot.
I'm Burning Spear Patriot.
And watch him on his channel because he's very good. Link below. And that's a wrap for the night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.